Hello, creepy and crawlies, and welcome back. Welcome back. We are so excited to have you here. And today is going to be one of those fun evenings that we are going to talk about something near and dear to our heart. Not only are we talking about horror movies, but we're going to be talking about remakes, reboots, and a new term that we just heard this past year called a requel. And we're going to find out what in the hell a requel really is. In the meantime, let's go ahead and bring in my lovely, lovely co hosts. Magda.
Hello, everyone.
Where have you been?
I know, I've been away. I'm back now. Back, promise.
Oh, good. We have missed you. We have missed you. But I do understand you had a very fun, interesting personal outing that you went on.
I attended a wedding that two of the people in the bridal party were actually elephants. As in elephants, pachyderms.
Elephants.
They were attended on either side. It was one of the most spectacular, joyous, lovely weddings I've ever attended in my life. Everything was rainbow colored. I'll have you know, I even wore something other than black.
Did you really?
I wore purple, and I'll have to see if I can find some of the decent pictures to share of me actually wearing purple. But I'm back now.
Oh, well, wonderful. Let's go ahead and bring in Kat now.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you ladies?
I'm going to look down your shirt. What are you wearing?
Well, from the waist up.
Isn't that always the case?
There's
that might be pants.
There's a little lace, a little web action from the waist down. There's I'm just gonna leave that a mystery for you guys to,
I'm wearing my pajamas.
Fill in the blank. Wearing pajamas. I like when we have the pajama episodes. Like, we need to do more of those.
So much fun. That was a blast.
Yes, I agree.
It was a blast. By the way, I understand that our guest is having some difficulty signing on, so bear with us if we seem to be timing out for a few minutes here and there. That is 100% what's going on. Let's go ahead and bring in Lauren.
Hello.
Your hair's green,
Lauren.
I love it. Yeah, I got sick of it, and I was just like, I'm bleaching my hair, and I did it, and then I wanted yellow, and if you can tell, it goes from like a yellow to a green, but that's because it was blue, and the blue didn't want to let go. I bleached the blue out, and it ended up turning like a sea mint spearmint green kind of thing, and I was just like, okay, but you know what? I like it.
Looks good.
So, I just want to take a quick moment. Our guest was asking to text a link to him because he's having some difficulties. Were we able to get that done?
Sorry, I'm dropping stuff over here. Actually, I gave him my number and said to text me so he wasn't having to give his number to multiple people, and I'm waiting on his
No. Perfect.
I'm just going to sit over here on mute, ignore me for a little bit, and y'all converse amongst yourselves.
Yes, if we all of a sudden look at you and you're like, huh? That's we know you're lost. Okay. All right. So this week has been a fun week for upcoming changes in the horror world. I know that a lot of people were really kind of disappointed not to see Matthew Lillard show his face in the new Scream movie. And if I just ruined that for you, I'm so sorry. But I read recently that he is getting ready to launch his own movie studio. And he is going to start with a vampire movie called Let Them Die. And it's supposed to be a horror studio. Any thoughts on, first of all, who's a Matthew Lillard fan outside of myself?
I like him.
Okay. So any thoughts?
I think he's adorable.
He's
just, I think that he's the sort that's underrated. I don't think people give him his just praise on the various types of characters that he tends to play, and I just think he's lovely. I think he's adorable. He's good at playing sort of a spaz, but he's also good at playing very intelligent and quite sneaky characters. I think he's got quite a range, and so I think that'll be very interesting to see what he does with it behind the camera. That'll be fun.
I think it will be too. Honestly, I mean, he pretty much from here on out is Shaggy. I mean, I grew
Is
up
he?
on.
Oh, wait. He's not then I'm thinking of somebody totally different. I'm thinking of McFly, the guy who played McFly in Back to the Future, the dad from the first one.
Crispin Glover?
Crispin Glover.
I'm thinking of somebody totally different.
That's
Never
okay.
mind.
No, that's okay.
I'm
actually,
like, that's what I was thinking.
No, okay, I love Crispin Glover too, so we're not going to have any issues there. He's for him to be such an odd individual, Crispin Glover is really just a lovely, lovely person to look at. And the older he gets, the better he gets. So Matthew Lillard, hi Eli.
Hello.
We got messages
Lovely.
from Eli. See, I think Matthew Lillard bragged about being a dungeon master at G4's Attack of the Show. He was the villain of the first Dungeon Siege movie.
Ah.
Okay, that was another language. Like, I need somebody to translate that for me.
No, I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, I don't know what Dungeon Siege movies are, y'all. If I just kind of lost nerd points, my apologies. But no, he was Shaggy.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, I follow it.
13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts.
He was in a movie called Hacker. Anyway, we can go on and go on and go on. I think we kind of had this conversation last night a little bit. Lauren and I did, but so yes, I'm excited about that. And then of course, sad news wasn't this past week, but of course we did lose Gilbert Gottfried, which was it was very sad to hear of him passing. I understand that he had been sick with possibly cancer for like several years, and so I was sorry to hear that. I think we all have a bit of background that we remember him from in a movie or something. I remember him from. I remember his stand-up bit, but I remember him from Aladdin. It's just like
his voice. You don't miss his voice. Like, his voice is a definite, like, it's a draw. You can't mistake it.
No, not at all. Carl Witzman says that he can't stay, but I had to come and show my support and hear Magda speak.
Oh, Carol, thank you very much. It's most appreciated. Please do come.
Eli again says, "Rest in power, Gilbert." So I want to go ahead and just kind of kick off our topic. We are still trying to get our guest in, and he is having some difficulties, and we do apologize. As you can see in the little corner down here below me, where is she? Lauren is working desperately to try to get our guest on. He's chatting back and forth with us. He's pretty much here, but he's got some technical issues going on, so we're trying to buy him a little bit of time. So let's kind of talk about the whole concept of reboots, remakes. It's something that's kind of been a topic of conversation with our group several times, just because I think that we've talked about Interview with the Vampire, we've talked about the new Scream movie, and we've also even talked a little bit about the Batman movie. And I mean, these are all rebooting old material, and some of us are okay with it, some of us are less than thrilled with it. So let's just kind of throw it out there and find out, first of all, when you initially hear that one of your favorite movies, one of your favorite stories is being remade for the second time, third time, sometimes even more, what are your thoughts on it? Are you generally excited to hear about it? Is that a
yes I am the person who's like, I love it. And everyone's like, no, they're going to ruin it. And I'm like, I love it.
I suppose it depends on the film, really. I'm not usually terribly sanguine about the whole thing, but after being proven wrong multiple times of finding things that were remade and that turned out spectacular, I can't always be quite so crotchety as I was before about the idea. Excuse me. Sorry.
So are there any movies that you've seen recently that you're whether they have just recently come out or that's something that's projected to come out that you were thinking, nope, we don't want to do that?
I think we all kind of already went over the Interview with the Vampire show coming out. So that topic's already been discussed into the dirt.
beaten to death.
Yeah, beaten to death. I think this wasn't like super recent, but the last couple years it came out, the remake,
Mhm.
and I have actually not seen that one, but I hear it was
Neither have I.
super good. Like everyone is like,
I'll
it's
see it.
amazing, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I remember growing up with and I don't think it was a actual movie. It was like a TV series with Tim Curry, and
Yes.
it was frightening. I remember as a kid, I want to say I was probably like first or second grade or something, and of course I'm glued and I'm watching it, and I would not walk past the storm drain close by for a while after seeing it because Tim Curry just really made a frightening clown. So I don't know.
Tim
really
Curry
did.
is perfection in anything he does, though. Whether
Agreed.
it's frightening, yes, I know. Do it again. Do it again. You purr better than I do. Eli Cash says Halloween 3 Season of the Witch could be considered a requel. Throw out all of the Michael mumbo jumbo, but keep it in a similar universe. Okay, so all right. Eli has used the word requel. And this is something that I actually, when we were putting the show together, our platform host kept asking me if I was making a typo. I'm like, no. That's the word. It's a requel. Magda, obviously you've heard the term. Do you care to share what you have heard what basically it is?
It's when they take a film that's already established, has lore, has canon, and so on and so forth, and they decide to go back in time to before that particular film was and create lore from there. The issue becomes when they decide to retcon things, when they get rid of things that are already established, especially if you've got a series that has more than one film, it's got 5, 6 films in some of these horrors, that they'll go back and just say, no, don't look at that. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We've decided this is actually where we got it from. So they can be lovely because they can say, well, I always wonder, where did that come from? Or what was the cause of this? Or can we go back and see where this all started? So sometimes they're brilliant. Other times they're like, what were you smoking when you came up with that?
So by that definition, would The Nun be considered a requel or is that a prequel?
Okay, so this is kind of where I get a little bit confused because I think a requel is designed
Remake.
it's kind of a cross between a remake or a reboot and a sequel and a prequel. Or so basically the idea, it is a sequel and a remake. It is utilizing characters who are legacy characters while introducing new characters and new concepts. I think, huh? Well, you know, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, but sequel kind of comes into that play as well because, you know, you do go back and you have to, if you're going to do something of that nature, you just have to, I think it's an all-encompassing word. If it's a sequel, if it's a remake, if it's a prequel, if it can be all of it, all rolled into one. Dad Budget Prepper had
yeah, we got some comments here.
Yeah, when Halloween 3 came out, it was the intent was to make fun. I'm sorry, I can't read because I don't have glasses on. When Halloween,
I'll tell you.
Thank you.
When Halloween 3 came out, the intent was to make all future films a different storyline in the same universe.
Oh,
see,
wow.
That's what I want. Oh, no, wait, we have a
that's
question coming after that.
William Schuyler, I'm reserving
we have
judgment
Willow.
on
Hello, Willow.
monsters. Sorry, Willow Schuyler says, I'm reserving judgment on the monsters. I'm excited to see Cassandra Peterson in it as the realtor. See, I agree. I'm sort of scared. I don't know. I love Rob Zombie, I do, but some of his things go a bit offsides. I'm not so sure. Let's see, Ryan.
Okay.
Horror movies are terrible at remakes and reboots, especially. Yeah, well, yeah.
I would agree and disagree on that. I think any remake or reboot is going to fall in that category. They're either going to be like absolutely terrible or they're going to be absolutely wonderful. I don't think that's specifically a horror movie thing.
I think that depends on how far back it's reaching to reboot or remake a movie. I think the further back and the less likely that fans nowadays are to have seen it 2 or 3 years ago, I think that they're going to have a tendency to enjoy it a lot more. I want to go back to the comment about Rob Zombie and the Munsters. Okay, I love the Munsters. I love the Munsters. I
do
love the
too.
Munsters. Geek Gumshoe and I were having a conversation about this yesterday, in that I do feel like a lot of Rob Zombie's movies are nothing more than a vehicle for his lovely wife, Sherry Moon. And I do love her. I think she is an absolute doll. But casting her as Lily is not and I've seen her in the makeup. I've seen her now, waist up in the outfit and stuff. And I just, I'm trying not to be judgy about it, but I'm like,
I see where you're coming from on that, but to me, I just see a lot of directors do that, in whether it's their wife or Tim Burton. When it comes to Johnny Depp and
Helena Bonham Carter.
Thank you, Helena Bonham
Carter. Yes.
Like, you can tell he's like, with the rest of the cast, he just rolls a bunch of dice and he's like, no. But when it comes to the main two, he's like, those two. Them.
Well, but actually, with that said, with Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, I think they
fit. I think they fit, though. They
are a wonderful fit. They are incredibly, incredibly talented actors. There are not many people that I know who I come across and go, "Hey, I'm a real big fan of Helena Bonham Carter," and they're like, "Oh, she's just awful." I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, she already carried the vibe, though, because she had Mary Shelley Frankenstein. So you think before Tim Burton, she was already kind of dipping her toes into horror. So.
I completely forgot she was in Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein. She was
the main character. Yeah, and then Johnny Depp, he's
Johnny Depp.
He's a good actor. He's Johnny Depp.
Announcement. It looks like our guest is not able to log in. They keep getting stuck, and they said they're just going to call it maybe another time.
That's fine. He's
fine.
More than welcome to jump in on the chat, and we'll chat with him now. We would love
me.
that.
I'll hold the phone up. We can do that.
That's okay. We will recover and we will keep on rolling. With that said, we do have a audience participation question. Although I really don't think we need one, but we do have one. So let's roll it and see what's out there.
Is there something supposed to be rolling right now?
Maybe we don't have an audience participation question.
All right. We'll make one.
Well, we had a couple comments.
We did have comments.
Rewind like two of those? I think there were about two. Let's see here. Oh, there's our audience participation question. All right. What is an underrated movie that screams for a sequel? Screams for a sequel.
Can we pop that back up? What is that ugly box in the middle? Do y'all see that?
No.
I'm sorry. That's my brain going. Never mind.
That's my
brain going. I have a problem. Okay.
I have an answer to this that I would love a sequel to.
What?
Trick or Treat. Did y'all ever see the Halloween movie Trick or Treat? And then, all of the storylines tied back in together, but there was famous people every once in a while, and you're just like, oh my god!
I think Anna Paquin was in that, and I just want a movie all about Little Sam.
I want more of Little Sam, but I want a new storyline where once again they all kind of tie back into each other again, and then maybe link it back to the first one right at the end, and so you're like, oh, this makes sense, and oh, mind blown, and yeah, that's what I really, really want.
Okay, so Ryan Permis. If we are pronouncing that wrong, we apologize. We're just going to call you Ryan. We are officially now on a first name basis. He says, "Give me my Tron 3 and Power Rangers reboot now." Power Rangers 2017 needs a sequel. So does Tron Legacy. I love Power Rangers. Eli. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Can we reboot that and
love it? If we could go back to the comics and
Courtney Buckley,
a bit less of what they did originally.
Ghost. Yeah. Okay, so Courtney Buckley says the Blackwell's Ghost. There's 5 of them, but I need a number 6. I'm sorry if I'm squeezing in. It's because I know. I'm I can't see. I'm blind.
You have to get in there to read. Yeah.
It's I got the computer.
I think that they mentioned that same person had commented something earlier about was it Texas Chainsaw? Yes,
Texas
and I saw that.
Chainsaw
That was
Massacre.
one of the. There you go. I liked the remake of Texas Chainsaw from the early 2000s ish way more than the original. And I know people that would argue the opposite of that. I actually just rewatched some of those with my children, greatest mom of the world, and we all loved it.
How do
Mom of
our
the
children?
year.
I'm sorry. How do kids learn about horror if we don't teach them as good parents?
Precisely.
Absolutely.
Ryan, I am number 4. Ooh,
I haven't
yes,
thought
that
about
needs.
that movie in a
I don't even
while.
know what movie that is.
That's a good
Okay,
one.
I'm going to throw this up here to the Cabana Boy because he is the keeper of all things backstage, and I evidently made his life a living hell this afternoon by sending him all of these slides and not labeling them a single one. If he is ready to roll, I have a game more or less prepared called Smash or Trash. That is something along the lines of we are going to do whether or not we smash or trash. Not the same smash. We're not picking out the bad guys we want to sleep with, but but yes, we're going to do a smash or trash version of horror movies and reboots. Highlander needs a reboot. Thank you.
Reboots.
So I'm just going to leave it to him to pop these up whenever he is ready.
Elevator music.
So,
all right, Carrie, 1976.
Okay, there's that little box again. Are y'all not seeing that?
No, well, I mean, it looks fine to me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
nope.
Ignore it.
crazy.
Continue on. I would smash that. I would
smash
that.
That was the original 1976.
I would actually smash the remake too. Loved the casting on that one. I'm sorry, the girl they cast, I loved her.
Carrie 2013. Okay, so is that Chloe Moritz? I do love her. I did not care for that movie though. And then let's just step over a little bit further and talk about Carrie the Rage, which was god awful.
The name just sounds god awful. I mean, there you go. Carrie the Rage.
Okay. All right, so what's next?
Smash.
I like that one.
Smash.
I apparently passed it because I've never seen it.
You're going to want to go smash that.
Chris
Saran. Watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming I know what the next one's going to be, but
I'm thinking I know what it's going to be too.
Yeah, there you go.
Trash.
What was that?
I'm going to say trash it. Trash it.
Trash. The only thing I liked about it was David Tennant.
Oh.
David Tennant was in that? We apparently didn't get that far. We tried to watch it.
Who was the main vampire? Who was
Colin Farrell.
Oh. He's a lovely little bit, but he's just I'm not a big fan of his. Although he was in the new Batman and he was great in it. Okay, keep on. Let's keep on rolling. Trash.
I don't know this one.
You will. I'm gonna say.
I don't know what that is.
Smash. How about that?
Okay, I do know that.
It's just a no. See,
Smash.
that was odd for me simply because of the fact that my best friend was actually living in Japan at the time that this came out, and she lived in one of those tower buildings, and so that was
better be the original.
She and I watched that online together at the same time, and she was traumatized. Couldn't leave her apartment for like a day or two because she's like, no, I live there. Oh god, this is where I live, you know. So every time I see that, I just think of my best friend being traumatized. So no.
Okay, so Ju-on is the original version that The Grudge was based off of. Now I hear that it's very different. I've watched bits and pieces of it. However, let's roll the next slide.
Why do I put Naked Night?
Do what?
Nothing. Last
House on the Left, 1972.
Pass.
No, that's one I've seen, and I don't care to ever watch again.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm gonna say it's trash. I'm
not saying it's just no. That's traumatizing. That movie is traumatizing, just for lack of a better term. Just
Pass again.
I love that one. I'm gonna say Smash.
I'm gonna say smash that. Yeah,
I
smash
love it.
let
It's
the right one in.
precious. It's
Is
precious.
that the English version of it, or is
That's the original version of
Swedish?
it.
The
That's the original. Okay.
original.
Let Me
not
In
as
is
good
the
Let
as-
Me
English.
In. Let Me In is the English version from
There we go.
Not as
2010.
good. Not as good.
We just
Trash.
put it on and tried to watch that one, and we couldn't get past the first 30
No.
minutes of it. It was
The original's
super slow.
definitely better.
Yes.
So much better.
Oh,
I have been
yes.
confused.
So I'm gonna say
Once again-
trash to that one.
Let Me In was the same girl from the remake of Carrie. Chloe Moritz. Okay.
Did not
All right.
realize that.
All right. So what's up next? Psycho 1960.
Smash.
Smash.
You can never go wrong with the original. Any thoughts on how you could have made it better?
Mm-mm.
Oh, how
Norman
it could have
Bates
made
would-
it better? Yeah, no.
Oh, Psycho
No.
1998.
Mm-mm. No.
Okay, so
It was all right. Vince Vaughn was pretty psycho in that movie. I will say.
you know that was a good. Ryan
Remake,
says smash
did you
on
see?
Grudge 2004. Yes. Tyler says to answer your previous question, I think remake of April Fools would be fun.
How
we
have they
agree.
not made that? They've done a remake of
I
almost all of
know.
those films. You know, they've done the Happy Birthday to Me. They've done the My Bloody Valentine. They've done so many of them. How have they missed that one?
I know. Ryan also said smash the 1960 Psycho. Eli says I trashed the Nun. Ooh. Ooh.
All
You're gonna
meme
have-
and hardly scary. The cinematography was
Well.
good, but it was like they mismatched every horror trope. If they were going to rip off the Necronomicon, the least they could have done was be subtle about it and leave out the inked in blood part.
Oh,
Isn't that like the Necronomicon is like always known to have been
Yes.
inked in blood, though, isn't it?
It's human skin and
I
blood,
would
isn't
say
it?
So.
Yeah.
I would say so. I
Hang
think
on, let
it's
me
sort
look.
of that's a staple, isn't it? I don't think
I
you could do
thought
it any other
so.
way. That just seems like this always has been. It's not just something from like Evil Dead, but you know.
Okay, so what do we
I
have
don't
next?
love that.
Halloween
Oh,
1978.
smash.
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 I mean, it basically introduced the world to a genre. So, I mean,
It's
yeah.
delightful. It's fun.
Yes. Yes. So what do we have next?
Halloween.
Halloween.
all of them. Yeah.
Halloween 2018. Okay. All right.
Still
So
smash.
one of the things that I wanted to make a point of, we know that there's a ton of Halloween, and we know that there's a ton of movies in between some of these, and I just wanted to basically go with the original remakes from the original versions. So we have what was that, 2018 Halloween? Okay, so why I've seen a lot so far. We've been looking at these, and it's like some are smash and some are trash. Why do we pick this one? What is it about this one that we say smash, smash, smash?
I love the direction that they took with the more of the backstory when he's younger. I love that, and I loved the style of filming with the way that the camera went through the mask. They kind of did that in the first one, but it was like better done,
Smoother
in this one.
Yeah. It was much smoother. It seemed more intentional in that one, as opposed to just sort of how they had to do it in the first. No, I agree.
So what's up next?
That's it. No more.
No more. We're done.
We're done. We're done trashing and smashing.
All right.
Well, I have a list that I put down here of ones that I thought were good remakes.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm wondering
Lovely.
what you all thought of these. We already mentioned it, but
Perfect.
these were my these are the good remakes list. 13 Ghosts.
Oh, love it.
It was so different from the I couldn't even find the original in it, but I thought it was a great remake.
It's the same idea. I mean, it was inheriting
same
a house full of
idea.
13 ghosts.
Yeah,
It's not. No, see, I think that is lovely in the sense that in the original, the remake did it in such a way that the ghosts became the stars of the show, as opposed to sort of a scarlet blob that they were in the original. Now, I like the original. I thought it was lovely, but with the William Castle. I love William Castle. He's a personal favorite of mine. But, you know, he was known for the B movies with the gimmicks. He loved physical gimmicks. Like in the original 13 Ghosts, the gimmick was when you walked in, everyone in the audience got an early version of sort of a 3D thing that was a ghost viewer. And what I did was when the ghost came on to the screen, you're supposed to, put your glasses on, and it would turn them into sort of a scarlet blob. And the ghost didn't have that much personality. You know, there was like the grasping hands, you know, and these sort of things that were the ghosts. When you do the remake, you've got the Black Zodiac. You've got these terrifying ghosts that have got so much personality. So they completely take over the movie, which I don't mind so much. I think it's lovely. But then, as we were talking about Matthew Lillard earlier, love him. He's so precious in this movie. And Tony Shalhoub was also delightful. I thought the whole thing was brilliantly made, and it was the special effects alone are worth watching for.
It was really nice to see Tony Shalhoub in something other than Monk. That was my first non-Monk movie of his, and I was just like, yes, so good. Okay, so next up I have Evil Dead.
Okay.
Which is it's a remake, but hey, it popped up there too.
I don't know if I like the remake so much. I like the original.
Oh,
not a fan.
We're hanging.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Something else about 13 Ghosts. I actually attended the premiere of the remake in, when was that? 2001, I think it was. 2001.
That's a long time ago, too.
Because I'm
old.
It's fine, I'm old. So I was there, and everyone in the audience that came in got a set of postcard reproductions of the Black Zodiac pages from the book that was in the movie. And I still have them. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I couldn't put a hand to them. I tried to find them before the show, but I couldn't find them in all of my collection. But they're beautiful, and I will continue to look for them and then get pictures to share.
That was actually the thing that I loved most about the remake was the Black Zodiac, and I didn't really feel like they spent that much time with it. It was
they should have done more.
Well, and if you go and watch, like, you can find like whole YouTube videos that are dedicated to who each character was, their backstory, and it's very fascinating.
So that's what I think should have a prequel done of it.
I know that's a prequel.
The backstory of all the ghosts.
Every single ghost should have had their own backstory movie from that movie, and they should still do it to this day. Hollywood, if you're listening,
I'd watch that in a heartbeat.
They're listening. They're stealing your ideas.
Right? Thanks, Netflix. Okay, anyway, I'm done. I'm not going to complain about it anymore.
Eli says The Thing, starring Kurt Russell, was a remake to an old 1950s film called The Thing from Beyond. Oh, I did know that. I did actually. I forgot.
That was on my list. That was once again, that falls into me in the Jurassic Park kind of area of horror. I know the Jurassic Park wasn't like horror per se, but the idea that it's puppetry, it's there. The actors could touch it, they could see it, it
physical
looks
effects
so much more realistic on camera than any computer graphic thing I have ever seen in any other, I don't even care if it's horror, any other movie, period. And I really wish people, I know it costs more money. I know it does, and you have to pay more people to do it and run it, and it breaks, and there's mess ups, and it's a pain in the butt to work with, but it looks so much better.
Physical effects done well look stunning.
So
what's the rest?
So one of the other ones that something I'm curious about, there are two franchises that I know that you, Lauren, absolutely love. The first being Child's Play. The original was in 1988, however, and they remade in 2019. What were your thoughts on the remake?
There's a few different new remakes that came out, the movies, and there's also the new TV show that has recently come out. I've not seen the TV show as of yet. I do know that Jennifer Tilly does make guest appearances in it, so I will be watching it just straight for Jennifer Tilly. But I have seen some of the newer movies. The Cult of Chucky, I thought was really slow in the beginning, and then it kicked up kind of near the middle to the end. To me, each of the newer ones kind of played off the older ones, and the fact that they do start out slower. You know, you're waiting for the doll to move, and it's a whole like, and you know they move that much, and it builds and it builds, and so they did play off of that slow anticipation. I liked some of them. There's some really good scenes in it, but once again, it just seems like other than like he has his own, you know, the whole cult and the church thing and all of that. That was kind of a cool concept to go with, but I really wish they'd have done more, added more in with his storyline. Like he could have gotten a lot farther along than what they wrote it to be at, and I wish they had done more with it. If that makes any sense.
Speaking of our children watching horror films with us, my daughter just recently got to watch Child's Play for the first time. She's been obsessed with Chucky, having never seen any of the films. Been obsessed with him for quite some time, and I finally decided that we could sit and watch it, and it was the most adorable reaction I've ever seen to a film in my life. She cackled through the whole thing, laughed so hard, thought it was the most hilarious thing she'd ever seen, and we finished it and she said, when can we watch the next one? I need to see Tiffany. I'm like, well, she's not in the next one, but we'll keep watching. So she's obsessed, and Lauren especially, she's seen your cosplay and she's like, oh God, I have to do this. Can she show me how?
I can show where to get the necklace, the tattoo, the wig, the whole shebang, kit and caboodle.
She's excited and she thinks you're fabulous. So,
Aww.
Yeah, I recently watched Bride of Chucky with my youngest, and now she, as a toddler, wants to be Tiffany, and I'm just like, it fits. We're gonna do it. We're
at some point, ladies, if you need any sort of glow up at any point in time, just ask me to ask my daughter what she thinks of each of you, and I'll give you a little video to make you feel like a queen.
Your daughter's super sweet.
Oh, I know. So, Kat, what is one of the franchises that you just absolutely love?
Oh, wow. You know what? I'm going to jump off topic here. We're going to go for reboots. We're going to go to cartoons. And it has nothing to do with horror, even. I really love Futurama. And I know there's been a lot of discussion about them doing another remake, a reboot. I guess it'd be the third time now that they would be rebooting Futurama, but I guess the holdup is Bender, one of the robot characters in it, and so there's this whole like Bender Gate 2021, 22 going on, where I guess I don't know how like contracts with studios and things like that work. So I hope they get it worked out to where they do it, because I don't know, for some reason cartoons kind of it's kind of like they never leave off, like no time or space ever passes. It's kind of like they just kind of leave right off where they left off, because it's voice acting, so it doesn't, you don't have to be like, oh well, we have to figure out why the character is 20 years older and how to make it, because the voice doesn't change a whole lot. So I don't know, that's just me. So I would like to see that one be remade, and I would like for them to work out the contract with Bender, so that way they get it all together, keep going.
Fun.
I liked that show. That was good.
Okay, so that kind of threw me. I kind of figured you might be an animated person, but I didn't. I'm like, I don't think she's Disney, but I can see Tim Burton. But that whole Adult Swim, that kind of like Futurama. Do you like Bob's Burgers?
I've never got into that one. I got into like just different stuff. Like I loved like Aqua Teen, Hunger Force. I like that one, and Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. I'm a big nerd. I love cartoons, so I will sit up at night, drink some beer, and watch some cartoons and some Golden Girls.
My cartoons that I'm going to watch are going to be like Batman the Animated Series, or the Justice League, or the Green Lantern. I'm going to go for more of the comic book sort of things if I'm going to go for that, because I'm an obsessive comic book fanatic. And also a reason why some of our other affiliated shows have pestered me a bit to be on them. The problem is most of them take place first thing in the morning, and I'm a vampire. I don't do first thing in the morning.
Don't want to wake up.
There's a reason our show is at the time it's at.
That's why you would like Futurama. They play it till like 2 in the morning. So, there you go.
No, I've gotten addicted to. I love Bob's Burgers. It is one of the funniest ones I've seen in a long time. But I also loved Rick and Morty, and surprisingly, it's like I stumbled across Rick and Morty because I was told, "Oh, you need to watch this. Oh, you need to watch this," and then like Adventure Time. I love Adventure Time so much.
Same over here, like, and Steven, like Steven Universe, and
yes, I'm a big giant child. I understand that. I totally get that.
I
So
think we all are to an extent. We're so off topic.
we
That was me. You said, so I'm just
off topic.
I think,
now I
sometimes when you talk about it, you push it out into the universe. Like, okay, maybe they're going to make this thing happen because I said it. It's let's go time. Let's go. Let's do this.
You're making me want to do like an animated horror episode now.
Oh, there's so many.
We haven't
So
done one.
There are actually quite a decent number of them, shockingly.
There are.
and not just like kid friendly or
No.
just
Watership
adult
Down.
Oh no.
Okay, wait. Okay, so Watership Down. I know a lot of people say it's not a kid friendly. No, it's not.
I didn't watch it. I had a hard time with it. That was my
Well, I watched it
research
as a
for
child.
our
first
first
episode?
show last year, and I was trying to watch this movie, and I just about like yawned. I was like, I can't. I don't. I know everybody says it's dark and it's dreary and
very
it's
dark.
dreadful. I was just kind of just like, okay, I'm bored as hell. I gotta get some music on. Like, it just. I don't know if it was the crap. I don't know.
She didn't make it to the bunnies dying, did you?
I don't think maybe one or two, but it just didn't. I tried.
See, I think what is so traumatizing about Watership Down, and honestly, I love Watership Down, and I did read the book like many, many years ago. I read the book, I think I want to say in like not junior high, but maybe high school. It was required reading, and I struggled through it because it was a little bit difficult to read when you are not really wanting to read that book in particular. And I was wanting to read Interview with the Vampire, but so yeah, it would have probably been high school. But yeah, I remember watching it, and my mother saying, "Oh yeah, it's a cartoon. It'll be fine." Which I mean, fortunately, I was older, but it was still. I mean, I think that was 1978 when Watership Down came out, and you're looking at it going, "Yay, Watership Down! Bloody rabbits! They're killing each other. The rabbits are killing each other."
Okay,
Yes.
but can we do an episode on?
No, go ahead, Laura.
I'm sorry. Y'all are sitting here talking about like traumatizing things in kid shows, and I'm like, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. Can we please do an episode on that? Like
Traumatizing children's
the horse
shows.
in the mud. Okay.
Thank you. Zombie Island.
Zombie Island is one of the best animated horror movies ever. I said what I said.
Okay, I'm going. You know what? I'm going to take it back now. Go ahead.
That looks like that would be a fun theme park to go to if it were real. Like,
oh, Spooky Island from the.
Yeah.
I want to go to Spooky Island.
I think it would be fun to have a theme park where it's, haunted and horror and, different genres of different lands you go around. I think it'd be fun.
I
So
missed
Universal
so much when
does-
it comes to Hanna-Barbera, like any of the Hanna-Barbera stuff I never saw, so I missed so much. I'm only vaguely aware of Scooby-Doo. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
So Scooby-Doo actually is a reboot, and I think we're all okay with that one.
I mean, I'm the concept.
We're on
I know
topic.
what they are. To be honest,
Back on topic.
Yes.
I
Those
think,
were
I think
so
one of the
good.
first times I ever watched anything Scooby-Doo on purpose was because of Supernatural.
Oh, this Scooby Naturals,
Sorry.
Natural
I'm
Scooby,
sorry.
Scoober.
Scooby Natural, I think is what the episode was called.
Scooby Natural.
I haven't made it
That's
to
the
that
first
episode
time I've
yet. So.
seen- That's the only time I think I've ever watched Scooby-Doo on purpose. So I'm sorry. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I didn't grow up with it. So trying to go back and watch it as an adult was a bit, really now.
Okay, so Zombie Island that Toy Robot mentioned is actually a really interesting kind of stray away from the traditional Scooby-Doo TV show. So originally when Scooby-Doo was done, all of the episodes were, at the end of the movie or at the end of the show, the kids would unmask the villain. It was a guy in a mask. Well, Zombie Island was the first one that introduced real monsters. and which was a lot. I mean, I know real monsters are also people, but the thing that I remember most about Zombie Island, it kickstarted. I think it was Cartoon Network, and it was during the time that the Blair Witch Project came out, and there were sounder bites in between shows where you would have the Scooby Gang running through a real, like, it was basically animation on like real life film, or it was on film, and you would have the Scooby Gang running through some forest and acting out bits from Blair Witch, or the Blair Witch, and it was absolutely hilarious. I mean, at one point, Shaggy's like, "I ate the map." Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, it was just me. Sorry, it was just me. If you ever get a chance to go watch it, find it on YouTube. It's freaking hilarious.
This topic has become, Eli A.T. Cash says, this topic has become a total reboot / requel of itself.
Yeah.
We went back around to Scooby-Doo, and that's
about.
Yeah.
Those were so good, though. Those were such good movies.
I think of shows. I like shows. Like, I am a show kind of person. And if we were going to, like, for me, I know everybody wants to do movies and, you know, requels and sequels of movies, but I really love shows. I just think sometimes when they reboot a show, they do it okay. And I don't know. I would like to see more shows go into reboots. And I know, like you said, the Munsters are going to be rebooted. Is that going to be a movie, or is that going to be a show?
It's a movie.
Okay. I want to see shows rebooted. I don't know.
They tried to reboot that as a show, and it was like something Mockingbird Lane. And
13 Mockingbird Lane. It was like
13 Mockingbird Lane, and it had what's that comedian? Does
Izzy?
Izzy?
So it must have been not that good if it's not ingrained.
It only had a pilot episode, but the pilot episode was amazing. So if you look up,
I didn't watch it. I never saw that pilot.
You can find it on YouTube. It's super good. I was really mad when the show did not pick up.
Now I have a question about the pilot episode of the original Munsters. Wasn't the original pilot done in color and then the rest done in black and white, where they said it was too much money to do the rest of the series in color? So the series, I think, was in black and white. And this is what I think I've heard, that the pilot was originally in color, but I could be completely mistaken on that. Okay. Is it correct? Okay. So we could figure out what color Lily's dress was and everything through the pilot episode or not.
Wouldn't that be 1313 Mockingbird Lane?
Mockingbird, yeah.
Okay. Also interesting. Only reason I know that about the pilot being in color is that I keep wanting to say Morticia, not Morticia. Lily was not Lily. She was actually Phoebe, and they thought that the character looked too much like Morticia, so they recast the wife and made her look very.
Was 666 Mockingbird Lane.
Oh wow, we were all wrong.
So what is 1313? Was that like 1313?
Maybe they just wanted to.
Was that the Addams family's address? So the 1313 something? Oh, we're fired. Oh my God, we're all fired. Gotta go now.
No more show for you.
I know.
No more. So when it comes to sequels and that were super, super good, one that no one ever really knows is well, not a sequel, but a remake. Sorry, The Fly.
That
was a remake.
I've seen the remake. The remake is amazing. It's way more serious. The original, The Fly, felt much more B-movie. I think the one part that will always make me cackle hysterically is when you see the juxtaposition of the fly itself with the human with the big fly body, and then you see a teeny little fly caught in a web. It's got a human face on it, and he's going, help me, over and over again. And it's supposed to be terrifying, but you just can't help but just break out into laughter at it. It's like, I know that's scary, but no.
So it was like a sci-fi, though. Did they ever do what was that big show from the 90s everybody watched? Was it like the X-Files or something? Didn't
I
they
love the X-Files, yes.
did they reboot that one
Yes.
as a show?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
I thought I heard they did, but I never saw any of the reboots.
They did a reboot, and they were actually pretty entertaining. We watched, I think there was only like 2 seasons of it, and we did watch them. I think we watched them all, but it was well loved. It just wasn't as done. I don't think it was done as well as the originals. There's just something about trying to go back and capture, the grace of the original show. Going back to
missing an ingredient, yeah.
yes. Going back to The Fly, I have to admit, The Fly actually was on my list because I do love anything that's campy B movie, and that was a Vincent Price, 1958.
I do love that. I mean, like my love for William Castle with 13 Ghosts.
Yes.
One of his other films was also remade by his daughter, Terry Ann Castle. She redid 13 Ghosts. She also redid House on Haunted Hill.
Was
the
that
original
a remake?
Oh wait, was that the kind of same era, and it had Liam Neeson in it? The remake.
Jeffrey
Okay.
Rush.
Jeffrey Rush.
So
I'm thinking The Haunting.
The original was in 1959, and that was Vincent Price, of course. And the remake was, I'm trying to remember what year that was. It was in the 90s, I think it was. Yeah. But the remake had Jeffrey Rush, which never taken anything away from Jeffrey Rush. I'm quite fond of him.
Oh yeah.
But I'm always going to go for the original if it involves Vincent Price, and shifted it around a bit. I mean, they had the same basic story. Ridiculously wealthy couple invites a bunch of people to an abandoned,
In 1999.
There we go, 99. Invite them to this supposedly haunted house and offer to pay them a certain amount of money if they can stay through the night. As the storyline for both of them. Just slightly more updated, nastier things happen to the people in the remake than to the original. But one fun thing, actually, when they remade it, they did a very William Castle-worthy sort of gimmick for the remake, in that the night that it came out, everyone that walked in was given a scratch-off card with the possibility of winning a cash prize, just like they did the characters in the movie.
Aww, that's cool.
So I did not see that one in the theater, but I thought that was a fun little, very William Castle-esque sort of thing to do.
A remake I did see in the sorry, we have a comment. Toy Robot Visual Arts that said X-Files creator Chris Carter was notorious for taking a great format and driving it into the ground with conspiracy theories and overthinking the concept. It was great as a, quote, monster of the week, end quote, show.
I think he kind of did that with Millennium too. If Millennium was another great. Oh, it was, and it had he was in Near Dark. Oh my gosh, Magda, I'm looking at you. Who was the lead vampire in Near Dark?
Oh gosh, I know exactly who they're saying. I can't think of his name. Lord. It's going to drive me insane.
I keep on saying Frank Langella, but I know it's not that.
No, it's not.
Because he played Lance Hendrickson.
Lance Hendrickson. There we are. I was thinking Adrian Pasdar. No, wrong character.
Which, by the way, DL, you recently mentioned this movie online. I had forgotten that this movie existed when I was about maybe Arya's age, around that time. I loved this movie. I was obsessed with this movie. I watched it every single day, and then the person that I borrowed it from took it back.
Oh.
And I never got to see it again. I'd forgotten it existed, and then you mentioned it, and I was just like, memories unlocked, and now I can't find it to watch it online.
Which one? Which movie?
Copies.
Near Dark.
Near Dark. Oh. I've got multiple copies. It's my absolute favorite. It's my absolute favorite vampire film because they never once say vampire in the whole thing. It's fabulous. No, and Adrian Pasdar is sort of adorable. So it's cute.
It's cute.
For,
so speaking of movies of remakes that we saw in the theater, I went to in costume, go see the new Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
All right. All right.
Oh, I'm so
Nice.
sorry.
Yes.
I was so mad.
We need pictures.
I probably have pictures. They'll be with my ex though, so we'll have to like black out this thing
Oh,
over
yeah.
here. But
That does make it even better.
there are aspects of the movie that I love. The casting, I was fine with it. When I saw that actor in The Watchmen originally, when I
He's
first
good.
saw him, I looked at him and I went, he should play Freddy
Who was
Krueger.
he in the Who was he in the Watchmen?
Rorschach.
Rorschach, yeah.
Rorschach. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So
okay.
when I first saw the actor, the first thing that popped in my head was like, oh, he should be cast as Freddy Krueger. You would make a great, because Robert Englund can't live forever. And I am a huge Robert Englund fan. I get that he makes Freddy Krueger, but he can't live forever. There's got to be someone to pick up the mantle. It's not like Jason or Halloween. It's not like
we're looking for a
Jason
vampire
or Michael
now
Myers.
that wants to.
Yeah, it's not like other movies where they can put on a mask and then it's Jason, it's Michael Myers. It's you have to have like the look and the feel and the personality. So when I first saw him, that was the first thing that popped in my head. When I heard he got cast, I was like, yes, and I was super excited. And then they decided to switch everything around and like, oh, he's innocent. No, he's not. He's and like words you can't say online or you get banned and you're not allowed to continue on.
No, I hated that they tried to make it into this sort of, oh, he's not really a bad guy. Oh, he bloody well
he's
is.
a bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
It's Freddy. Not just a bad guy, but an unapologetically bad guy. That's what made him fabulous. He was cheesy and over the top and ridiculous and bloody evil to the core. That's what made him fabulous.
And that's why we love him so much.
Oh no, he's a part of abuse. No, he's evil.
Whoa.
He's
What
hard,
is this
and we love him for
comment?
it.
Okay, so Eli.
The cartoon
it's a
series
cartoon
Beetlejuice
series.
was a remake. Beetlejuice was pretty much the villain in the original. Well, of course it was. I mean, of course he was the villain. I'm not really sure why that's
remember
confusing.
seeing that cartoon. I remember seeing that cartoon.
Yeah, in the cartoon they did.
They were like in the
make him a
80s
good
or
guy.
90s.
Yeah.
They're besties. That's
They was-
Lydia with the spider
think of
web
that.
thing.
It was sort of cutesified, and he was just sort of adorable and sort of
I
like
loved it.
Yeah.
do you know, it reminded me of Drop Dead Fred.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, wow. I forgot all about that movie.
Like her sort of imaginary friend is what he seemed to be more like, versus evil, nasty, undead thing that's trying to kill everyone, but in special, psychotic, lovely colors. But no, I agree. They did a weird thing with that when they made the cartoon. It was not quite Beetlejuice. But
Well, they had to make it kid friendly for
They had
Saturday
to-
morning.
exactly.
Yeah, it was
Lydia
the
was
Saturday morning
totally-
cartoon.
Lydia was totally cool with the horse mirror grown ass man.
I
I-
yuck. Yeah.
That's where it went. It's really where it
Well,
went.
well, speaking of reboot, I mean, there's still that whole sequel gossip going around that Beetlejuice might, in fact, be brought back with Michael Keaton and
As long as Michael
Winona
Keaton-
Ryder. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They both
Yes,
signed
no.
off on it. Rumor has it.
So watch it. No matter if
I
it was
would.
horrible.
I think
I'd
I
still
would watch it. Yes. I'm
Have
with
you
you,
seen
Magda. I would
the
watch
I don't
it.
think it would be horrible. I think it would be glorious. I mean, had the original cast sign off on it.
With the right. Oh, one other I have to say of my absolute favorite remakes of all time, as far as horror movies go, Cat People.
That was on my
original.
list.
The
I was
original
on
from
my-
1942
Oh,
was,
wow.
it was all about female sexuality being constrained and all of this. Then you get to Cat People from 1982, and it's like, oh no, there's no
It's
restraint.
Oh yes, it is just as
Fabulous.
it. Yes. Oh, and actually, the 1942 version is probably one of my favorite movies. I just,
it's
I
beautiful. I love
love how it. Oh, it's beautiful. It's
The
gorgeous.
filming is so stunning, and all of the framing of it and the shadows of it and such is just, it's beautiful. But oh man.
And the lead, I cannot remember who the lead actress's name is from. But she was so gorgeous. It's just like I remember seeing her, and it's like that's what I want to be, right there, Catwoman and all. That's it. And so eventually I become Catwoman, but that's a different one.
I have a question. I have not seen this movie, but when I was doing research for this episode, everyone raved about this remake. It's called We Are What We Are. Have y'all heard or seen of it?
No, I've heard of it, but I've not seen it. And I have to admit, when I was looking at research myself, I thought, how could I have not seen this? But I'm not. So I'm actually quite curious myself.
It looks right up my alley, cannibal family and all.
Mm-hmm. I've seen so I've seen it on like Netflix or one of the streaming sites, and I keep looking at it. It's like, I'm gonna watch it. No, I'm gonna watch it. No, no. But
it's supposedly miraculously good. Everyone online raves, and now I'm like, well, I have too many movies on my need to watch list.
I know my list is ridiculous.
So one of the movies that I was told to watch when we were initially starting to do this or talking about doing the remakes was the new or newish Invisible Man. I do believe that was that 2020. Oh, you what?
I saw it and it was not the Invisible Man at all. There is an Invisible Man in it. But it's not the Invisible Man. It's not.
It is not. Yeah.
You're missing all of the concepts of the horror of it and the reality of it, and it's just no. I saw it hoping it was going to be like the original in the sense of exploring the concepts of what happens when you lose your person and are you even human and all of that. That's not even a bit what it's about. Not even a bit. It's actually a strangely abusive. I don't know how to describe it, but it has nothing to do with the original one. Not even a bit. Hollow Man.
Yes, Hollow Man was
closer.
Yes, Hollow Man was much closer. Now my thought was I know it was strictly in name, in title only, but I really did not dislike the new Invisible Man as long as I just realized it wasn't the Invisible Man. I thought the storyline was good, and I thought it was just really kind of out there, but I didn't hate it.
The one with the suit, the like invisible suit that he puts on thing.
Yes,
Which one is,
and he meets his girl. He meets his girlfriend in the bar, or no.
It's called gaslighting.
Yeah, it is fascinating.
It's called gaslighting. That should be the bit.
So, DL, you know how you can't do like eyeball horror?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have a phobia. It's called trypophobia. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember the name of it. But it's like when there's like holes in things. I'm gonna attempt to pull up a picture here and just show you kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah, that.
That's gross. That's gross.
Oh God, now it's on my phone. Anyway,
is that like tears in the skin?
It's holes, like lotus flowers and things like that have holes in them.
But anyway, suit. I saw a preview and this suit that the guy wore from that. I was just like,
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, it's totally be triggering for anyone that doesn't like that.
Oh, I get it. And honestly, that normally doesn't bother me. I can't stand to see it on something that looks like skin.
Oh, like on skin. No, I agree. It doesn't bother me generally, but if it's on skin, then no, that just sets me off.
Like holes, like from Death Becomes Her with the hole in the stomach where she blows her with the shotgun through the middle.
That's fine. Like that, if it's bloody,
that's just one big hole.
Wound,
that's fine. Big hole.
One big hole.
Some sort of like alien infection thing.
We're good with a shot through. That's not a problem.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Stab wound shot. That's cool. It's bleeding and it
so
looks like it's supposed to be.
Looks like babies or something like that. Then you're okay. That would make me like cringe too. I'd be like, no.
There's something about like the picture that Lauren showed that screams of parasites of some sort. I think that's
I think that's it.
Like,
that's what the
honeycombs.
Okay. I'm tracking some kind of body lice or something chewing you.
The heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of like alien infection where like your skin is just rotting away. It looks like something's going to crawl out of the holes in you.
Okay, I'm following that one.
Okay.
So now you know one of my phobias.
Yeah. So I'm sure that you really love the image that went around a couple of years ago of this woman's boob that looked like it had like holes in it. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. That's what started it. It was like the one with the shoulder with the and someone took a flower and they put it over the shoulder. Yeah, they photoshopped the two together, but that stupid meme right there is what started this.
I thought it was a boob.
I missed all
It was
that.
a shoulder?
I missed it.
No, they did both, but either
Was
one
it both?
It was both, and it was photoshopped. It doesn't matter. It's horrifying. That's like the definition of body horror right there.
Thank you.
No.
Oh, I agree.
I think that's like in any when you Google any disease though, and then you pull it up on your, and it shows you the absolute worst rotting version of what it is. You're and there it is right there.
I'm fine with those.
Right there.
Oh,
Mystery of the Wax Museum.
The Wax Museum.
That's the old one.
1933. Yikes.
Well, actually, the 1933 is the Vincent Price one, which was that it was 1950 something, is a remake of the 1933.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then of course there's
Paris.
That was
in
Paris.
it.
Yeah.
So it's been remade the 2 times already in
movies,
the 50s and 2005. Okay.
And just so you know, there's also a really awful but wonderful one that I love. It's sort of a guilty pleasure. That's called, I think, House of Wax with 2 X's on it. It's so cheesy and so horrible, and I absolutely love it. No.
I'm just.
Honestly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have said that. Should I?
B movie.
It's worth watching. It's so much fun. If you, it's got David Warner in it. Thank you very much. But it's if you can watch it. No, not House Wax Works. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay, Wax Works. I've seen. Okay.
With David Warner in it, which is the same concept. It's a sort of a horrible haunted wax museum where the people are in the wax figures, and it's so. All right, now I see how you are. Thank you very much.
Have any of y'all been to a wax museum?
Yes,
I'm just curious how creepy that might be.
I went to Madame Tussauds in France.
Madame Tussauds. There's Madame Tussauds here in my town as well.
Nice.
And I got some of the most hilarious pictures because my children didn't know who anyone was. That was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, walking through all
busted ego on famous people there, but
a lot of it's country music, which I'm sorry we don't really listen to in my household, so they didn't know half the people. But it was so much fun, and absolutely the most terrifying of all of them was the most realistic looking one that we saw here in my town. Was a wax works of a very, very young Johnny Cash. We're talking 20s, and he was number one. That? Oh God, he was beautiful.
Oh, I bet. But how did they get that? Because don't they actually form people's faces that are alive?
Whoever the artist was that created this was indescribably talented, because it was a setup where there was Patsy Cline in one corner, and then Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Elvis, all in their 20s.
Oh, wow.
And it was stunning. I'm not even that big of a fan, but just looking at them was like, holy cow. Lauren,
did yours have the horror section? Did you have the
No, I've been to the one in London, and the horror section in London is actually closed now. I don't know if you know that.
Oh.
Yes, the Chamber of Horrors in London is now closed because it was decided it was too disturbing.
Seriously, come on. It was only
somebody's had to buy it. Hopefully somebody's bought it and put it in a basement.
Okay, let me describe it to you then. All right, so they took all of the photos from all of the Jack the Ripper victims from the crime scenes, and they remade all of them in the crime scene, like you would walk past and it would look like here's part of a street and there's a dead body right there.
Wow.
It was so cool. And then of course they had all of the famous, there was Freddy Krueger and Pinhead, there was all of the horror movie people. But the Jack the Ripper victims, that was so good.
Where was this one at, Lauren?
I love wax museums.
That one was France.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
there's
we won tickets at a baseball game.
I think it's a Madame Tussauds in Little Rock. Ooh. And at one time, I know they did have a Chamber of Horrors, which was more basically ghastly ways that people would have been.
In London, it's the
Yes.
torture chamber.
Yeah,
It's
the
very
torture chamber.
very
Oh,
different,
wow.
like the rack and the Iron Maiden and all that sort of thing. So, yeah.
My youngest
Oh,
child went to
Was it London, not France?
I think it was my
Sorry.
youngest child went to the one in Branson, Missouri. My in-laws live
I've
very
been to
close
that
to
one
that
as well.
area. They have an Elvira there.
They do. I have pictures with her.
I'm like, I have yet to see the Elvira, but I have pictures of my kids with her. So I'm like,
The
oh,
only
Strange.
reason to go to Branson to see the
The
wax
one thing that
museum.
the one thing that irritates me about the one in Nashville, of all
Mhm.
the people, they don't have Dolly Parton. How is that possible?
She
They
probably
don't.
won't let them do it. She probably
yeah,
she's
there's
probably like, I'm not
something
gonna
to
cast.
do. Yeah, there's.
They
I'm
should.
wondering if there's some sort of like because I know there's all kinds of superstitions in regards to like don't get in a coffin before you die and all this other stuff. I'm curious if there's any kind of superstition in relation to having like an effigy of your your
Well,
wax
because,
creation and stuff.
I mean, once upon a time, what started her entire series was her taking death masks of all of the the upper crust that were all getting beheaded. That's how they started them in the first place. So I suppose I could see that being a superstition and not far off.
If
But
I were
I've
Dolly,
seen I've seen Dolly, like not in person in Nashville, but I've seen like where they have mannequins and showing off her dresses and
Oh, okay.
just
The
seeing
Country
her
Music
in
Hall
her
of Fame has
waist,
a
like
lot of hers. Gosh, she's
Yeah.
tiny.
yeah,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
Oh,
so it wasn't a
Mm.
wax figure, it was like her own, and it, probably because it's money, like she has her
Uh-huh.
own museum. She's Dolly.
Yeah.
She can
mhm.
you know,
Well, and that
why
could
would
also-
she put herself here when she can make money over here? Kind of.
Well, I was gonna say
you know.
she's got like Dollywood and all of those other
Dollywood,
locations.
yes.
So I mean,
which is
why would
super
you?
fun, by the way.
Yes. So why would you let somebody else have your image on your image?
Fair enough. Okay.
That
I'm being
and
told. I'm being
I
told that
really
we're at the
can.
top of the hour.
Mhm.
I'm being
Oh,
told we're at the
top.
hour.
Mm.
Okay, go ahead there.
Well, I can see kind of. All right. When it comes to showing off dresses and stuff, those are usually like up on a pedestal or behind glass or something. People can't go up and touch it.
Yeah.
Wax museums, a lot of them are like right there. People can reach out, they can touch them, they can this. And Dolly being as endowed as she is, how many crappy pictures do you think there's going to be of someone online going,
People defiling her, yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Fair enough.
yes.
So
I would be curious
can
how
see it.
often they have to replace the chest portion of Elvira's. I'm just
Hers
curious.
is like you can't go up right super next to it anymore. They have it kind of like behind a little fence now because you could tell people were like, yeah.
Okay.
Auga.
Okay, so I do have one more thing I have to say about remakes, and this is just I'm going to throw this out there, and I know we're over our hour, but this has been a fun show. There is a remake that keeps coming out, and I love the story, and I love everything that's not the remake. But I absolutely, if I see another version of Amityville Horror, I think I'm going to kill somebody. I love the original one, but I am so tired of all. Even Ryan Reynolds could not save Amityville. Oh, please don't do it anymore. Please don't do it anymore. This is
And
my
see,
plea.
I actually just did a TikTok on how Amityville is and The Shining are pretty much the exact same movie.
They're done. They're done.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you think about it, there's a family. They moved to this place that is haunted because the previous family that lived there before was all killed by some sort of crazy person. The walls bleed at some point. The dad gets possessed by the person who killed the last family and tries to break through a door with an axe. Like there's so many similarities between the two that you're just sitting here like, But they're both great movies, though.
I know.
Great movies. That face tear off scene, that one is epic. I'm done.
Body horror. Okay, so with that, if you like what you saw, be sure and follow us on all of our social media and like this video. First of all, I want to say thank you to our guest who was supposed to be here. He tried. So we're going to say thank you. We will catch up with Norman again, and we will try again in the near future. Also want to say thank you to the Cabana Boy, Toy Robot Visual Arts upstairs, who keeps us in track and always looking as professionally put together as we can possibly be. And then, of course, back of the cereal box and Johnny for allowing us to come out and do this. And if you want to support our program, be sure and drop a tip in the little ticker.
It should be going by. It's not going by. It'll go by later.
I think it went by earlier.
There it
Hey!
is. Okay, so be sure and drop us a tip and say that you want to support Ice Cream Queens. And also, we are now on YouTube, where you can find not only all of our previous episodes and get caught up, but little bits and pieces like some of Magda's musings and some cooking episodes.
You
And
know, I might be talked into doing just a few more of those. Who knows?
oh,
What's our next show? What's the next topic? Think of something fast.
no, we have a topic. Our next topic is on the 8th, and we're talking about creepy and killer kids for Mother's Day.
That's right.
Lovely.
Okay, so we need something creepy killer kitty for you to say. That sounded terrible, but you know what I mean.
Something.
Kitty, kitty. Sorry. All right, and with that said, pleasant screams.